Certainly a busy day in the country's courts today with several cases actually on the roll. In the Johannesburg High Court, the trial of 4 police officers accused of murdering Mthokozisi Ntumba is scheduled to begin today. Our reporter Pelane Phakgadi is watching that. It's also in the Johannesburg High Court where we'll also hear of the trial that Tshegofatso Pule's murder case, I beg your pardon, which is expected to get underway this morning. Linda Mnisi in studio with that conversation. But first, let's begin at the Alexandra Magistrate's Court. That's where we find Tshegohaco Moagi, who's following the bail application of a former security guard who's accused of stealing 4 million rand from her employer, and that was back in 2019. Tshegohaco, that story took many people by surprise because what we learned at the time is that this individual was able to simply walk out with this 4 million rand in refuse bags.
Absolutely, Ayanda. Quite a shocker of a story back in 2019, June of 2019, when this incident took place. So what we understand from what this 29-year-old woman has done, she was working for a security company, a cash and transit security company, and from there she cut open these bags full of money and put them in refuse bags, put them in a trolley at the Mall of Afrika, and just strolled out of Mall of Afrika with 4 million rand in her possession. And she then went missing for quite some time, with people unaware or not sure of where she actually was residing. We understand, however, according to reports, that she did find refuge at a place in Buse Park, if I'm not mistaken, where she said to the owners of that house that she was apparently running away from an abusive boyfriend. But that was then the last that a lot of people then heard from her. The police, of course, searching for her numerous times, trying to get hold of her, and of course trying to get this arrest until she was arrested on Thursday, following a tip-off by possibly some of the residents. And interestingly, she was in Soweto, and we understand that this is also a place that she actually lived in even before she committed this heist.
Certainly an important story. We'll keep watching for you. Stand by. Let's take you to the High Court sitting in Johannesburg. We told you of 2 cases that are being heard there. Pelane Phakgadi, you watching the issue to do with Mthokozisi Ntumba. Again, another story which made headlines. He had just walked out of a doctor's appointment during the Fees Must Fall protest at Wits. Somebody was arrested. What are we expecting today?
Well, of course, 4 people were arrested, and those are the police officers allegedly responsible for the death of Ntumba. We do know that at the time, it's almost been a year, of course, students will having been protesting at the time, and we do know that on almost each and every single year we find these kind of incidences where students are quite unhappy about the status quo at universities and would like to force their hand to ensure that there is some sort of accountability as far as they say they are concerned. Of course, 4 people, and namely Tshegofatso Pule, Sidras Mutsekhwa, Madimeja Logodi, Victor Mohammed, all of them police officers will be here in court. They have appeared for pre-trial before, where they did mention that they'll be making no admissions whatsoever at this stage. So the trial is set down for 30 days, beginning today, and this is where we are going to start to get a picture of that particular day, what really happened, what went through the mind of the police officers as they shot the blank in close range the young Mthokozisi when he was just walking out of a doctor's room, and unfortunately was caught in the crossfire with police and with students at the time. So the trial begins today. We are expecting that the police will be making through their admissions and will not be pleading guilty at this particular day as the trial continues. The family has been coming through to the pre-trial. We expect them to be here today as well, of Ntumba, the Ntumba family that is, and that is where we'll be, I'm sure they'll be able to want to follow the proceedings and ensure that some justice is seen to be done.
And Phakgadi, live to us there from just outside the High Court sitting in Johannesburg. Those are reporters who are on the ground. Linda Mnisi is with us in studio. Again, we told you of this busy news day ahead. Linda, the Tshegofatso Pule story is also back in court today, and plenty of questions around that.
Yeah, one of them, Linda, will the trial get underway today? That certainly is the hope. Yeah, absolutely. The hopes is that the trial will get underway. You'll remember the last time he appeared in court last year, it was shortly after he had tried to appeal one of the bail decisions that was made in the lower court, the Roodepoort Magistrate's Court, which was also denied. So he's sitting here with about 3 failed bail attempts and was trying, of course, to secure bail at the time. But when he appeared, when the trial was expected to get underway, he had new lawyers, and they said they basically had challenges with consulting him in the prisons because of COVID-19 and were not ready for trial. Now, the judge did, grant them the postponement given the fact that, the state also indicated that it would not be prejudiced by this decision, also taking into account the fact that he also has rights and has the right to prepare adequately for trial.
Yeah, and for the sake of our viewers who perhaps are just tuning into the story this morning, perhaps a good idea to just step back and give us a sense once again of this horrific story that unfolded in our country, the details of which just shocked us all at the time and continue to do so.
Yeah, indeed. You'll remember it was in June 2020 when, in fact, Tshegofatso Pule was found hanging from a tree in, just near Soweto, Durban Deep to be precise. It was, at an open field, basically. This is after Mthokozisi Ntumba, the now convicted murderer who's serving 20 years in prison, said that he took her to Newzroom, where he took her to a dark place, shot her in the chest, and then put her in the back of the truck, and then also took her to Durban Deep.
This is a heavily pregnant woman.
Heavily pregnant woman. She was 8 months pregnant at the time. Shortly after he was arrested, he then blew the lid on the cover of Mthokozisi, who was believed to be the father of the baby. Mthokozisi was arrested just shortly after Mthokozisi Ntumba was arrested and sentenced to 20 years. So since then, he's been in court, in and out of courts, trying to secure bail, but we know that he's failed in numerous accounts where, even a magistrate said he's not giving enough evidence or enough circumstances, personal circumstances, for him to be granted bail. So we're sitting here with someone who's been trying to get bail for this particular charge, but has been unsuccessful and has changed lawyers numerous times.
Absolutely. Certainly a lot taking place across all those cases. Thanks very much indeed. Once again, Linda Mnisi, watching the Tshegofatso Pule murder case that's likely to unfold in the High Court sitting in Johannesburg. Also at that court is Pelane Phakgadi. Tshegohaco Moagi is live to us there from the Alexandra Magistrate's Court.